Welcome back, everybody. Episode 2 of the Which Pokemon Would I Share My Lunch With tier list. Um, I realized not only did I forget Onyx, I also forgot Mega Aerodactyl. Mega Aerodactyl would kill me. Okay, so now that all of Kanto is done, we get to explore the beautiful world of Johto. Look at all these wonderful little guys. Let's get into this. Chikorita, 100% would share my food with. It's a little pear dinosaur. Lovely, lovely little guy. Bayleaf, I'd probably give her a little bit. Meganium, I would probably also give a little bit of lunch to. I know she's a big dinosaur, but she deserves it. Cyndaquil, he'd get some lunch. Quilava would probably also get lunch, just because he's a curious little guy. I'm pretty sure Typhlosion would explode if I pet him, so I would probably try to ignore Typhlosion. Totodile could get a little bit of lunch. I would try to ignore Crokinole. And Feraligatr would either try to steal my lunch or kill me, eat me. So I'm just going to put it with would take my lunch. No, actually, if I saw an alligator that big, I'd try to get up and leave, honestly. Crocodile's pretty dumpy. I feel like if I could outrun Crokinole. Feraligatr, no, not happening. Hisuian Typhlosion. She's a ghost lady, so I would definitely probably be more scared of her. I would probably get up and leave. Sentret, I would share my lunch with. Furret, I would share my lunch with. Hoot, I would share my lunch with. And Noctowl, I would give a little bit of my lunch to. Sentret, Furret, very self-explanatory. Adorable little guys. I know Furret's like something like 6 feet long. Doesn't matter. He gets 2 bites of my sandwich. He probably also gets a sip of my drink. Hoot, adorable. Tiny owl, ball-shaped, friend-shaped. Give it a little pat on the head. Give it some saltines. Noctowl, I'd give my life for Noctowl, but it doesn't need my lunch. Leddyba could get a little bit of lunch. Ledian, I would not share my lunch with. Ledian looks too much like a dude. Not like a man, but like too much like a human person. Like, if a Ledian walked up to me, I would be very confused if it was a kid in a costume or just like, is this a real Ledian? I don't know. It's hard to say. I would share my lunch with Spinarak. He's such a cute little guy. If I saw a spider this big, I would run. Crobat would try to eat me because it's a bat. Chinchou. I always forget these guys are so far up in the Pokedex order. But yeah, Chinchou gets some food. Lantern gets a little bit. Again, these are like ocean Pokemon, so I would have to be on the beach in order to give these guys food, but I would assume that's okay. Pichu. I'm not crazy about Pichu. I would probably give Pichu a little bit. I'd give it like a berry, I'd give it like a single strawberry just because how small it is, but I wouldn't like invite it to eat with me. Not just because it looks like just a weird, gross, smaller Pikachu, but also because like it canonically cannot control its electric shocks, so it would just shock the shit out of me, and there'd be like I just wouldn't want it around. I don't care for Pichu. Same with Cleffa, just kind of a little sphere. Not and I had an Igglybuff, honestly. Togepi I would give a lot of food too. Togepi's got charm. Togetic could get a little bit. Natu, I would give my whole lunch to. I would probably try to ignore Xatu, just because it's got those eyes. It's just always watching. Mareep. Mareep gets all my food. I would die for Mareep. Flaffy gets a little bit of my food. Whoops, that's not where you go. Flaffy would get a little bit. I like Flaffy, not as much as Mareep. Ampharos can sit down and talk about her day with me. Ignore the spares and such. Those are just all the all the gender forms of the Kanto guys. I wouldn't sit down and talk about our day with Ampharos. I talked to it about taxes. Mega Ampharos, Luscious Locks. I'd probably give it a bite of my sandwich. I wouldn't give it too much. It doesn't need it. Look at it. It's powerful. Its tail literally looks like whipped cream with strawberries in it. Blossom. Blossom is like a little hula dancer, just a little floral dancer. I'd give her I'd give her a little bit. I don't know exactly what she would eat. I would probably offer her like some cold water. If I saw Blossom, I would try to feed it like like a branch of leaves from a tree. That would be my first. Like, you know, when you see like a wild animal and you're like, oh, here are some leaves, buddy, and they're just like, these are maple leaves. I can't eat these. But that's what I would do to Blossom. I would offer it food that is just not okay for it. Maril. Maril's a cute guy. Maril's a cute little thing. Maril could get. I'd share my lunch with Maril. Azumarill. Azumarill is pretty chonky. I'd probably only give her a little bit. Pseudoswoodicity. I'd give Pseudo a little bit of. Actually, Pseudowudo wouldn't approach me. It would pretend to be a tree. So I would ignore Pseudowudo, so it thought that I thought it was a tree, just to not hurt its feelings. You know, I feel like that's the appropriate thing to do with a Pseudowudo. Politoed. I would try to ignore Politoed. What a weird guy. I don't care for him. I like frogs. I love frogs. Frogs are rad. Politoed looks like he's gonna try to sell me things. I don't like him. Hoppip. Hoppip gets lunch. Hoppip gets lunch. Skiploon gets a little bit of lunch. Jumpluff gets lunch. I would have to tie Jumpiff down so she doesn't fly away. But look, it's just a cat with leaves on his head. It's adorable. Skiploon's like a chunky little elephant frog thing. And then Jumpluff's cute. You can't deny Jumpluff's cute. Apom, I famously have a horrible fear of apes. Apes, monkeys, primates in general. I hate, they just creep me out. I don't like them. So Apom, I would leave. It's just, me personally, if it was someone else, they could go and get a little bit of lunch. Or honestly, they're pretty mischievous. I would get up and leave, and if I didn't, it would definitely try to steal my food. But just because of my fear, I would, at first sight of an Apom, I would leave. Sunkern would get a little bit of lunch because I would be like, do you eat food? Do you want some water? I don't know what you need. Sunflora, I would try to ignore. Sunflora's a weirdo. Yanma's a big bug. Yanma could have like a sip of my cola if I were drinking cola. I wouldn't give it like my ham sandwich. I wouldn't give it a bite of my coleslaw. I've never eaten coleslaw at a picnic. Macaroni salad? If I packed my own lunch, there wouldn't be macaroni salad there. Whooper! Whooper gets lunch. Quagsire. Oh, Paldean Whooper. Look at them. Brothers in arms. Yeah, brothers without arms, actually. They both get lunch. Quagsire. Quagsire gets lunch. Quagsire would be under the table, and I'd just be like tossing it whatever it wanted. A whole apple, yours. 14 karat gold, yours. My tax documents, yours. Anything you want, my king. Espeon. Espeon is a cat. I would do anything for any cat. Umbreon. A weird cat. I did grab Umbreon. Weird cat. I would do anything for a cat. They get lunch. Murkrow. Murkrow is a crow. I would give it a little bit just because I know crows are really intelligent. But I feel like this would backfire with Murkrow for me. Slowking. Slowking is very intelligent. I feel like I would just kind of, if it's talking to me psychically, I would talk back, but I wouldn't be like, hey man, you hungry? That just seems disrespectful, you know, because they're so smart. They're very intelligent. I don't know why Hisuian Slowking is here, but I would try to ignore, even if it talked to me, I would try to ignore, because they're like evil, right? They're like poisonous and evil. I'd try to ignore them. Misdreavus. Misdreavus is a ghost. I would leave if I saw a ghost. Unknowns don't have mouths, so I would probably try to ignore it. No, I wouldn't ignore it. I'd like watch it float around the park or the beach, or I guess I'm eating in old ruins, having a picnic outside of like a historical site, and I saw an unknown float around. I'd probably just be like, oh dude, look. Take a picture of it, you know. Because like They don't have like what is it gonna eat through its eyeball? I don't know. Wobbuffet. Um, Wobbuffet would get ignored. He's a weirdo. He screams. He touches his face a whole lot. I don't like him. Giraffe Rig would get a little bit of lunch. Giraffe Rig could eat all of the lettuce off my. If I had a salad, Giraffe Rig's getting the whole thing. Giraffe Rig is a wonderful little guy. Pineco. Pineco's a weird bug. I like weird bugs, but I don't know how to feed this thing. So I would just not share my. I would just watch it. Like if it like. Also, they can blow up. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just not share my lunch with it. Nothing to gain its attention, but I'm not gonna actively try to ignore it. Fortress. Fortress would ignore me, so I would ignore it. Dunsparce. Dunsparce gets a little bit of lunch. He's a little guy. He needs help. I'd give him the pieces. I'd give him the salami off my sandwich. I'd go, here you go, little guy. And he'd go, Dunsparce. And then he would chew on it for like 18 minutes and then probably choke on it anyway. He's kind of a failure of a Pokemon. I don't know. Maybe if they gave him an evolution, he could get a little bit. He could get a little bit more lunch. But as of now, he just gets a little bit. He just doesn't seem like he would do good with it. Gligar. If this weird bat scorpion flew over to me, I would give it my food. Steelix would try to kill me. No, Steelix wouldn't try to kill me. Steelix would just be causing a mess. So I would have to get up and leave. It would probably flip over the picnic table. Because they eat rocks and shit, right? Like I would, if it was just like hanging out, I would like be like, hey man, I found this piece of quartz. Do you want this quartz? It'd be like, ugh, and then destroy the world, you know, just absolutely kill me with an earthquake. Mega Steelix would definitely would try to kill me. All that shards of metal flying around it, just too hazardous. Snubble. Snubble, I would give, Snubble's like a weird pug, you know, not like a good looking pug. It's like an inbred pug. I'd give it a little bit, but I would be like, go find your own. Where's your owner, bud? I don't want you anywhere near me. Gramble's like a guy. I would give Gramble my lunch. I like Gramble. There's a big pink dog walking. He's like if a big bulldog walked over to you and was just like, hey dude. I'd be like, oh dude, you're so big and fluffy. I'd like, you know how they got those big face flaps? I'd like flap them all around. I'd give him some lunch. I'd give him a lot of lunch. Quillfish. Quillfish is a fish. It would be in a lake. I would not share my lunch with it. I would go, whoa, pufferfish. I actually did see a pufferfish washed up on the beach one time. I picked it up with a shovel and threw it back in the ocean. Probably dead, but you know what? There was a chance it lived. And that's how I feel about quillfish. I'd throw it back in the ocean if I saw it out. I would not share my lunch with Hisuian quillfish either. He's just a slightly different looking quillfish. I know he's dark type or whatever, but Caesar. Caesar looks metal. I would not share my lunch with it though. It looks scary. Mega Caesar. Mega Caesar would try to take my lunch. It would come over. It would chop the picnic table in half. It would rub it. It would mash up all my food. It would flip me off, and then it would walk away. It would probably dump my lunch into my lap. Honestly, he just seems like a jerk. Shuckle would get a little bit of lunch. Just a little bit. I don't understand Shuckle. I think he's like a slime mold living inside of a berry. I don't know. He's a coral, maybe? He's like a little turtle, but he's not. He's goop. He's just goop. Heracross? Heracross definitely gets a little bit. Heracross mostly eats honey. So if I had like lemonade or anything, I would share it with him. But I feel like then it would try to take all of it. Might end up beating me up. I don't know. Heracross seems rather polite. Mega Heracross would take my lunch. Sneasel would try to take my lunch. Sneasler would try to take my lunch. I would not share my lunch with Teddiursa, not because it's not adorable and definitely would want my lunch, just because I know that where there are bear cubs, the mother is around, and Ursaring would just kill me and eat me. So, Slugma. The Pokedex claims that Slugma is hot enough, Slugma and Magcargo are hot enough to, wipe out all life on Earth, but in Pokemon and me, you can be like 10 feet away from it and give it a poffin, and you're completely fine. So, based on in-game logic, I could feed these guys and be fine. And they would get a little bit. I like snails. I don't like slugs as much. But I think a lava slug is worth. I would feed it some rocks. I'd be like, here you go, little bud. Here, have some quartz. And they'd be like, ugh. Swine nub. I'm not crazy about little weird pig things. I'd give it a little bit. I'd toss it an apple slice. Palo swine, probably the same. I'd give it an apple slice. Corsola. Corsola's a little piece of coral. I guess if I found like a dead bug or something. I don't know what do corals eat. If I found a live piece of coral, I would probably try to avoid it just because I know how tender and delicate they are. And if I found a dead piece of coral, I would do the same thing. So, Cursula and Hisuian Cursula, not Hisuian, Galarian Corsola, I wouldn't feed them. I would just try to. I would hang out with them. I would make sure nothing hurts them. Well, not much you can do for this one. It's already dead, but like, you know what I mean. I would try to be gentle with them. I would not feed them because I didn't want to hurt them. Remoraid would take my lunch. Remoraid would shoot me in the face with water and then try to knock my plate into the sea and try to eat my lunch. Octillery. Ooh, what happened there? Gave me the old switcheroo. Where'd you come from? Octillery would either try to take my lunch, and if it didn't, I would definitely give it a little bit of lunch. It's an octopus. They're intelligent. If I had I don't know why I would have fish in my lunch, but if I would go out of my way to feed it a little bit of lunch. I would go so far as catch a fish to give to Octillery. Delibird. Delibird would try to give me lunch. Delibird would try to give me lunch. So it goes in would give a little bit of lunch, but that would be it. Would give me a little bit of lunch. Mantine. I would feed Mantine. I don't know what I would feed it, but I would feed it. Who's next? Skarmory. Yeah, fish. Famously, a Gen 2 Pokemon that everyone forgets about. But yeah, I would give Skarmory's a weird bird. I would give it a little bit of lunch. I'd hope it would give me a feather. Dude, you know how many machetes you could have if you had a pet Skarmory? Houndour is a little puppy dog. I'd share my lunch with a little puppy dog. Houndour, big dog, still would feed it. A dog is a dog. I would definitely get mauled by street dogs if there were street dogs in a location that I was at because I would just be trying to feed them. Mega Houndoom would try to kill me. Just look at him. He's evil, clearly. Kingdra would try to beat me up. I would just try to ignore Kingdra. Kingdra's like a jerk, Fanfi gets lunch. Fanfi gets fed. Fanfi gets fed in this house. Donphan. Donphan, I feel like would just mind his own business, and if it found me, it would try to charge and maul me. So maybe if I don't know, maybe I guess I would try to get up and leave. I guess if I saw an elephant in real life, I would probably be like, ooh, shit, I should go. Porygon 2. I don't know what Porygon 2 would eat, but if I did, it would get lunch. He's a cutie. Regular Porygon, weird. Porygon 2, cute. He's cute. He's a little cutie patootie. He gets some lunch. Stantler. If he would approach me, you get a little lunch. Just a little, but he'd get some. I think deer are a majestic creature. Smeargle, I would get up and leave. Smeargle weirds me out. Pokemon shouldn't have human feet with toes. I think that's gross and weird. Tyrogue would try to... I would try to give Tyrogue a little bit of lunch. He would probably punch me in the thigh, and I'd have to they only weigh 30 pounds. I could throw Tyrogue pretty far. It would try to fight. It'd probably punch me in the knees, try to sweep the leg. I would just body slam it. I'm a grown man. I weigh 190 pounds. I'm in great shape. I could take out a Tyrogue. Hitmontop. I would try to ignore Hitmontop. Same with the other Hitmons. It would be too preoccupied. If it was dancing really hard, I would maybe put a glass, toss a bottle of water to it, and be like, "Here, drink up, kid. You need your fluids." But I definitely wouldn't be like, "Here, have a sandwich. Have this homemade lentil soup." No, no. Smooch, I would leave if I saw Smooch. Him, it's freaking me out. Elekid, I would not share my lunch with an Elekid. It'd just be doing rowdy things, you know. Magby would get a little bit of lunch. Gets a little bit of lunch, Magby does. Miltank. If a cow came up to me, I would definitely give it an apple. I'd give Miltank an apple. Kind of weirds me out that it's, you know, looks the way it does. Blissey would give me a little bit of lunch. You know, same as Chansey. Did I put Chansey up here? I did put Chansey up there. Okay, well, whatever Chansey would do, Blissey would do more. So if Chansey gave me food, Blissey would give me more food. Oh, Raikou. Raikou would take my lunch because he's really fast. Entei would try to eat me, and Suicune would not be within eyesight of me. So the second I saw Suicune, it would leave. Raikou would try to steal my lunch, and Entei would just, you know, try to kill me. Larvitar eats dirt. I would feed it things with nutrients, you know, because it needs it. Pupitar doesn't eat, so I would not share my lunch with it, but I would hang out with it. Tyranitar would try to kill me. Mega Tyranitar would try to kill me. Lugia. If the god of the sea came out of the ocean while I was eating lunch and started whipping up a storm, if it was cool, if it wasn't whipping up a storm, I would give it a little bit of lunch. I'd give it a little bit of lunch. I would do that. I'm not going to lie to you. And now, if it started whipping up a hurricane, I would leave. Or I'd at least seek shelter. Ho-Oh, same story. If it was being cool, it could get some lunch. It's a big bird. I like birds. If an ostrich came up to me and it wasn't trying to bite my hand off, I would give it some food. I think Ho-Oh is like a giant turkey. Or maybe a hawk of sorts. Anyway, regardless, they get food. They get a little bit of food. I'd give them a lot of bird seed if I had it on me. Celebi. Last Pokemon in Gen 2. Celebi, it's a weird little onion guy. Yeah, it's a weird little onion guy. I'd give it a little bit of food. I'd push berries in its mouth like Ash did in that one scene in the movie. Just push them right in there. Yeah, so that's Gen 2. That is all the Pokemon in Gen 2. Let me know. But yeah, all in all, I think that's a pretty comprehensive list. The last episode did really well for my standards, so thank you all very much. People who are new to the channel, thank you for coming. I do Pokemon content pretty often. I'm just kind of a variety channel trying to figure out what works. If you could leave a like, comment, that means so much to me. If you got friends that you think would like this sort of stuff, give it a share. If they want to subscribe, it would mean the world to me. Thank you all very much. I will see you next time.